Barrows Point, 79 in Pasadena, and it's 81 in Glen Burnie. I'm Maggie Hunter, 680 WCBM News.
It's time to listen to you, the listeners. Go to WCBM.com and vote on WCBM's latest poll. It's fun, it's fast, and let us know what you want more of on WCBM.com. Baltimore is listening.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, opinion-leading, and funny show in America, on air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Hey kids, it's Hump Day. Or, as we like to call it, the Transgender Day of Hump Remembrance, which I've never felt very comfortable about. It feels kind of strange, but anyway, welcome to the show. Please come inside, have a seat, because there's much to get to, including what looks to be like an assassination attempt of Donald Trump by the FBI and DOJ. Yeah, the raid on Mar-a-Lago. We got some of these documents that Aileen Cannon is getting out, because it looks like the FBI actively involved in not only removing Donald Trump from contention as a presidential candidate, but also from the planet. Yeah, because we got a lot of evil people in charge of the government right now. So we're going to get to all of that very shortly on the show. Lots of news out of New York yesterday with Judge Merchan, who is, wow. This guy is clearly on the hot seat, clearly getting the heavy from Washington, D.C., with Michael Colangelo. Regardless of what any common sense or jurisprudence has, you've got to get a guilty verdict, or you're going to end up rolled up in a rug in a park in Washington, D.C. with an alleged suicide note. I don't know, I'm just saying, I'm just thinking out loud as to why Judge Merchan would flush everything down the toilet. Every ounce of credibility, everything in his life. He's devoted his life supposedly to the law, and he's willing to flush it down the toilet. Why, is it just the money? Is it just the money? I don't know. We're going to get to all of that on the show, and your phone calls as well at 800-922-6680. I think you better sit down for this, because it came as a complete surprise to me today when I read that most of the aid delivered to Gaza via the new floating pier constructed by the U.S. military is being stolen. I know, because, you'd think that the Hamas members, Hamas is in charge over there. The first thing they would do is rush to that pier and get that aid to the people who need it, because, they're starving over there. And the Israelis are just bombing the snot out of them civilians and everything. Or maybe they don't give a crap about the people in Gaza. And maybe the people on America's campuses who are protesting against Israel don't give a crap about the civilians in Gaza. They only want disorder and chaos and anarchy and Marxism. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So the pier is announced by Joe Biden in the State of the Union, was completed last week. The Pentagon said Tuesday that 569 metric tons of aid had been brought ashore thus far. Is that 1,000 kilos? Is that what that is? I don't remember the metric thing, because they tried the metric system on me when I was a kid, and the only thing I got out of it was 2-liter bottles of soda and maybe running a 5K. That's about it, because the rest of it is kind of stupid. Anyway, the Pentagon is unable to say how much, if any, of the aid actually reached the organizations that are supposed to distribute it, as reports have emerged that Palestinians simply seizing aid from the back of the delivery trucks. Who could have seen this coming? They spent like $500 million on this stupid pier. But they, and look at what they got out of it. Reuters reported on Tuesday there had been no aid delivery to the UN warehouse from a U.S. pier built for 2 days. 10 truckloads of food aid transported from the pier site by UN contractors were received on Friday at the World Food Program, 2 M's and an E, warehouse in the Deir el Bala in Gaza, which is, a delightful little neighborhood if you can get past all the rubble. So anyway, only 5 truckloads made it to the warehouse after 11 others were cleaned out by Hamas during the journey through an area that the UN official has been hard to access with humanitarian aid. Pentagon Press Secretary Air Force Major General Pat Ryder, said it would be accurate to say that no aid arrived at all, but he could not explain how the U.S. would guarantee that aid from the pier would be delivered. The aid is in the assembly areas on shore, right? So it's taken the U.S. military is delivering it to the causeway. It's then taken by non-U.S. contractors, driven over onto shore, put into an assembly area, just like IKEA furniture, which is where the NGOs that are supporting this effort pick it up and take it for distribution. And considering our experience with NGOs, it's probably just being stolen and sold on the black market, which is exactly what everybody said was going to happen. There you go. Good job, United States. Way to believe, these people in Gaza, the ones who build tunnels under hospitals and put their missile batteries at elementary school playgrounds, and the ones who don't care about human life. They value death more than human life. But again, nobody would have seen this coming. And of course we have the same people in charge here who are praying for the friends and family of the butcher of Tehran. Praying for them, not only the United Nations, or not the United Nations, the State Department and the Senate chaplain, praying for essentially 2024's version of Hitler. Just praying, thoughts and prayers. Well, I'm going to tell you, my thoughts and prayers were answered when that helicopter hit the ground. That's very unchristian-like of me to say, but I don't care because he's evil. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely evil. Biden approval has taken a new nosedive. Shut up! Just like that helicopter that El Raisi was on. He's losing even more ground. It looks like El Raisi, or whatever his name is, he got even more ground. He didn't lose ground. He gained ground. He went right into the ground. So U.S. President Joe Biden's public approval rating fell to its lowest level in almost 2 years, tying the lowest reading of his presidency and a warning sign for his re-election effort. This is a warning sign. His whole presidency has been a warning sign. I mean, oh my God, wait, we're just waking up to the fact that he's doing a crappy job and he's the worst president in the history of the country, even making Jimmy Carter. People long for the days of Jimmy Carter. Wow, this really kind of, just like the pier, not working and all the aid we send being stolen by Hamas while the people starve. I mean, I'm as surprised as you are. Trump was ranked better on the number one issue, which just happens to be the economy, by 10 points, 40-30. Also ranked far higher on immigration, 42-25, as well as foreign policy, 36-29%. 36-29%. But the president, his brain is working fine, according to Joe Scarborough. And last night he talked about something, we're still trying to decipher.
Let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law.
There you go. After he signed the PAC Act, then everything was great. So you can just expect them approval ratings to go right up.
Let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law.
Yeah, and everybody's heard of the PAC Act.
I don't know. This place is crack-a-lackin'. Crack-a-lackin'.
There you go. It's real close. It's the Pack-a-Lacka Act is the one that came after the Crack-a-Lacka Act, which was highly successful.
I don't know. This place is crack-a-lackin'.
On the Crack-a-Lacka. On the Crack-a-Lacka Act by doing the Pack-a-Lacka Act.
Let me close with this.
Yeah, that's what they.
After I signed the Pack-a-Lacka Act into law.
Mecca-lacka high, mecca-high-me-ho. Okay, sure. And then he got all sorts of creepy. Did you hear this? He made, there's these. Sometimes when you get older, you stick with some, tried and true lines like "Don't jump," to the crowd in the balcony, not funny, and you keep repeating stories about, my Uncle Bosie got eaten by cannibals, and that's what happens when you get older. And maybe when I'm Joe Biden's age, I'll start relaying stories, and my kids will start rolling their eyes. I mean, they're kind of doing that now when I talk about growing up on a farm. But anyway, maybe there's a point where his advisors need to say, you might want to let this one go, because this one is about marrying into a family that has 5 daughters, because in case one of them leaves you, I guess one of the other ones is gonna have sex with you. So I don't even know. I don't even know.
I say to every young man thinking of getting married, marrying a family with 5 or more daughters. I did. My wife's the oldest of 5 sisters. You know why? One of them will always love you. Not the same one. One of them will always be on your side. That's the biggest advantage of marrying into 5 daughters.
My wife has a sister. No, never.
I say to every young man thinking to get married a family with 5 or more daughters. I did. My wife's the oldest of 5 sisters. You know why? One of them will always love you. Not the same one. One of them will always be on your side.
There you
That's
go.
the biggest advantage.
Yeah, you're gonna tell the young men in the audience, you wanna find a woman, who's got 4 sisters. So when you're done with her, you can start banging the other ones, I guess. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Honestly, what? I mean, this makes Uncle Bosie look okay. It's like at least Uncle Bosie, died for his country or was made into a soup or something. I don't know. It just, honestly, wow. Just wow. But, Joe Scarborough says that Joe Biden's brain is fine.
I think he's better than he's ever been.
Yeah.
Intellectually.
Yes.
Analytically. Because he's been around for 50 years.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if people know this or not.
What's that?
Biden used to be a hothead.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning.
Go.
Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say.
Like Irish people.
This is...
Get in a fight.
And I don't really... You know what? I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth.
What are you going to tell us?
And F you if you can't handle the truth.
Okay. All right there, Joe.
This version of Biden... intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
Wow.
Not a close second. And I've known him for years. Wow. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years.
Yeah, so
if
I guess...
If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it. And
so I guess the starting point is persistent vegetative state.
Let me close with this. After I signed the PAC Act into law,
yeah, the crack-a-lackin'.
I don't know. This place is crack-a-lackin'.
I know.
Crack-a-lackin'.
That is just great. So, okay, we're going to get into this FBI raid where they gave the FBI the permission to use deadly force on the President of the United States. That's coming up. Your phone calls are welcome, too, at 800-CRACK-A-LACKA, which is 922-6680. This is The Rob Carson Show.